Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here, and Hearthstone patch 26.4.3 is live right now. Data only patch launching today includes following updates, data only, so it's also available on mobile devices already at the moment, and it includes now the constructed balance changes. And what are the balance changes exactly? Developer comment: the meta is in a pretty healthy place right now, and a lot of players seem to be enjoying the post-miniset meta, so we're not trying to be too disruptive with this round of changes. We're making some smaller adjustments to tone down a few emerging meta outliers, and to give a little more power to some of the miniset cards that have not gotten much attention. Alright, I'm a little bit surprised about this general line, because the miniset overall is quite powerful. The problem is just that it buffed existing archetypes. It didn't really bring anything new to the table. And the existing cards in the miniset that can be buffed also don't bring anything new to the table pretty much. So yeah, they could have also buffed some older cards that would actually bring stuff like Aggro Druid potentially become viable, something like that, Warlock. But instead they go with this miniset buff, so we'll see whether those end up actually doing anything. Let's take a look at the exact buffs to see. But then there's the nerfs, and Pure Paladin is the one that's getting hit the most. The Purator, old 5 mana, new 6 mana, very expected nerf, very useful, good nerf. I think Pure Paladin is still going to be playable, Purator is still going to be playable after that nerf, so that's okay. Then there's Disco Mall, and the Disco Mall nerf is actually pretty interesting. From a 2 mana 2/2 into a 3 mana 3/2, so it also gains 1 attack. So there are actually cases where you curve out quite well with this new Disco Mall, and with the 3 attack you can remove something, and it's not so clear cut as a nerf that it could have been, so I think it looks pretty sweet. Okay, that's fine. And then the third Paladin nerf, Feast and Famine, old 1 mana, new 2 mana. So bringing this in line with Rock by the Weapon, pretty much expected, because Horn of the Windlord, many people have been asking, okay, like why isn't Horn of the Windlord nerfed? Why don't they touch Horn of the Windlord instead of Feast and Famine? But Horn of the Windlord is a dual class card, so it's also used in Shaman, and it's barely playable in Shaman, definitely not too strong. So, because of those reasons, it makes sense to touch the attack buffs instead of Horn of the Windlord itself, and touching Feast and Famine like this, making it in line with Rock by the Weapon, seems perfect. Developer comment about this: Pure Paladin has been a strong deck for a while now. After this latest patch, we saw a jump in the deck's power to the point where it is now a dominant power outlier at all levels of play. Pure Raider is the best card in the best deck by every measure, but it is target for change, perfectly agree. We expect to still see play after getting toned down a little. Disco Mall has been a card we've had our eyes on for a while. This felt like the appropriate time to act. Finally, we've seen a lot of power come from the Horn of the Windlord Feast of Famine combo, but we can see that Horn of the Windlord isn't a problem in Shaman, so we're adjusting the other half of the combo to make it a little slower overall and less flexible on non-combo turns. Okay, Paladin getting hit on 3 cards, that's potentially a problem. 3 cards maybe is a little much. I mean, Pure Raider nerf was a given and would not have killed the deck, but we'll see. 3 cards is quite a lot. Will be really interesting to see what stats will say about Paladin performance after these. Then the other nerfs, there's Lady Steno, and the Lady Steno nerf's a real surprise. From 2/4 to 1/4. There's been growing negative sentiment of Spell Demon Hunter. Lady Steno seemed like the best target. Well, they already killed Spell Demon Hunter once with Sinful Brand nerf, then it was resurrected by the miniset, and now they're trying to kill it again with the Steno nerf. I'm just wondering whether there are going to be people who will play Crazed Alchemist instead of Abusive Sergeant and turn their Steno into a 4/1 instead of a 3/4. I don't know, maybe it's a bit too complicated of combo. You didn't always have all the pieces anyway for the old combo, and from 2 attack to 1 really makes it more difficult unless you have everything possible. Then there's the Hope of Quel'Thalas nerf from a 4/2 to a 3/2. I think this is a great nerf, very reasonable, keeps Hope of Quel'Thalas playable. Maybe you will cut this from some Face Hunter decks, but you should be able to still play with this in Beast Hunter decks. And this preemptive nerf like the one that they did for Big Demon Hunter earlier, and Big Demon Hunter is one of the best decks right now, but it's not overpowering like it could have been if they hadn't nerfed it preemptively. So this is a similar nerf to some Big Hunter decks, and I think that looks totally fine. I fully agree with this. I think this is looking good. Then there is the Posic nerf. I didn't really think Posic needed a nerf. I mean, it's strong, obviously, but is it that strong? Well, I guess they think it is that strong and they want it to be a 4-4 instead of 5-4. As a 4-4, Posic should still survive, so free-to-play players can rejoice and still play the game. So, okay, that's fine. And Crimson Clergy is now banned in the wild, so that's what the white circle meant. Alright, that's fine. And then there's the set of buffs. Rhythm Dancer Risa from 5 mana to 4 mana. 4 mana Rush 3-5. After hero attacks, return this to your hand and set its cost to 1. I still don't really see the Rhythm Dancer Risa deck, but who knows. Then there's Fiddlefire Imp, which I think is the weakest of the buffed cards. From 3 to 3-3, but the 5 mage and 5 warlock spells are not that impressive, so you're just not getting your money's worth with the Imp anyway. Also doesn't really go that well into Imp Warlock, which is like the Warlock that could have used some support. And then there's the Remix Dispenser bot from a 4 mana 4-4 to a 3 mana 3-3. And I mean, this is the strongest card that is being buffed. This is the most interesting card that is being buffed, and I really want to see how Mech Mage is going to perform. I'm going to have to play some Mech Mage myself today. Let's play some Mech Mage and just see how it goes. Those were all the balance changes coming today. So the buffs are not that interesting. I think there could have been a lot more interesting buffs if they had buffed some old cards as well, but they chose to go with the mini set. The mini set is looking quite strong, and if Remix Dispenser bot also becomes playable, then it becomes even stronger. So we'll see. At least some of the strongest decks in the current meta are being toned down, so there should be more space to experiment, and this could still become a pretty good Hearthstone meta. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.